thank you for being here, first off. So on August 17th, there was a high school football game at Lakewood Stadium. And at the conclusion of the game, two young men who had attended the game were shot. Damian Spear is 15 years old, was shot in the foot. He's recovered, he's doing well. Unfortunately, it's not going so smoothly for Isaiah Payton. He's 12 years old, and the bullet that struck him has paralyzed him from the waist down. Despite our investigators' diligent work, we've been unable to make an arrest in this case. And so we're here today to announce some concrete initiatives to move forward in hopefully making an arrest. And Mayor Bottoms will speak to those initiatives that we have adopted. Mayor Bottoms?
Good afternoon. Thank you to Ms. Allison Woods, Isaiah's mother, for being here today, and to all of you all. Imagine sending your child to play in a football game, and your child does what young men like to do, and that is to be athletic and to have fun and to be around their friends. Imagine just a few hours later, after your child has watched older kids play football, hoping to learn something by watching kids a bit older than him. Imagine just a few hours later getting a call that your child is at Grady Hospital and that your child has been shot. That is what happened to Isaiah's mother just a few weeks ago. Isaiah played in a game earlier that day, and he ended that day fighting for his life. There are cowards on our street who still walk around free. And so with the help of the Atlanta Police Department and the Atlanta Police Foundation, we are increasing the reward for these cowards to $10,000 for information to lead to their arrest. Also, there are billboards that are being put up as we speak. There's one near Carver High School. Also, there will be one near Mays High School seeking additional information. And we just ask that if there is anyone who knows anything, to please not be afraid to speak. Isaiah could be anyone's child, and it could have been anyone who was hit by those stray bullets. This is a young man with his entire life ahead of him, and it still is ahead of him. I know that this is a family of deep faith, so we also ask for your prayers, but we also know that faith without work is dead. So we ask that you engage as if this were your child. And if you have any information that can lead to the arrest of these people, please contact Crime Stoppers at 404-577-TIPS, 404-577-TIPS. Our community and our city is counting on you.
So this is Isaiah's mom, Allison Woods, and she just would like to speak to you for a few moments. Thank you.
I just want to first say that I just want to thank God for my child still being here. And I also want to thank the police department, Atlanta, and Chief Shield for working to bring the person who shot my son, Isaiah, to justice. On the day my son got shot, it really did something to my family. He's only 12 years old, and he's paralyzed from the chest down. I can't believe it right to the day. Our whole family is in a state of shock. He loved football, go to the game, hang out with his friends. I just never thought that this would happen in a million years. We've been suffering and going through emotional and financial distress because I had to leave my job to be at the hospital to learn how to care for my son. And I just wanted to say that right now I live in an apartment upstairs, and I'm just trying to find a downstairs so that he can come home when he's ready to be released. And I just want to thank everybody for their prayers and support. And I don't know who shot my baby, but my prayers is for whoever did this, that they will come forward, or somebody that know who did it will come forward. And just keep my family in prayers and everything. So thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here today, first of all. We can only imagine that so many people saw what happened that day.
Right.
If you could speak directly to someone who knows, what would you say?
I just want to say if just imagine like I want to say if they could put themselves in my situation, if it was like their kid, what would they do? And like come forward and just turn yourself in. Like, and I hope that they're not out here doing other stuff and making trouble for other people. Yes.
Ms. Woods, as much as you're comfortable sharing, what have doctors been able to tell you? Is your son getting close to leaving the hospital? Is a full recovery possible, or is he going to have lasting injuries?
Yeah, he's getting close to leaving the hospital. That's why, like, I'm struggling right now, trying to make it get away for him to have somewhere to stay that's handicap accessible. And he's at like T4, so that means he's paralyzed from the chest down. And no, he's at yes. So right now they saying that because I've been to spinal cord classes and stuff, and they saying that this is the type of injury that don't pretty much recover fully from it. It's going to probably be that way. Yeah.
Can I ask you, how is he, his emotional, mental recovery, how is he doing?
Oh yes. That's been my hardest thing to deal with throughout the whole experience, like, because he's very angry, and a lot of times I don't even like to sit and just see him going through that. He's frustrated, and it's hard for a mother to sit and watch, and just actually watch your child, go through that, and ain't nothing you can do about it, So that's been the hardest thing.
Chief Shields, I know there was a lot of tension on this case early on, maybe since over the last month and a half. What has this case been like for investigators? Has there been any suspects cleared? Has it been dead ends? Where's the case at right now, and what's happened?
Are you looking for more than one shooter?
We cleared multiple suspects where it turned out to be dead ends. Yes, I think we feel that two people were shooting at one another. We've hit a wall, and as the mayor alluded to, there were so many people out there. Multiple people saw this, and we're hoping if their conscience won't motivate them, maybe $10,000 will, because we need to bring closure. We need to bring closure to Miss Woods and her family. It's the right thing to
Is
do.
it possible that there are maybe businesses in the area that might have surveillance cameras that may have caught something that night?
I can assure you, we have turned over every imaginable rock. At this point, we are relying on someone to come forward with eyewitness testimony.
Chief Shields and Mayor Bottoms, a question for the two of you. Well, keeping this shooting in mind, over the last few days, there's been an 18-year-old hit by a stray bullet and a 13-month-year-old was shot yesterday. Any responses to the gun violence around Atlanta lately involving children?
You know, my family's been through this. My 18-year-old nephew was killed in a case of mistaken identity about 5 years ago. And it's, she's giving me, it's, you know, with a mother's heart that I stand here as mayor. And we are continuing to do all that we can do through law enforcement, and I'll let Chief Shields speak more on the tangible things that we are continuing to do. But so much of it has to do with who we are as a community and what we expect and what we will tolerate in our communities. And when you have incidents like this, we rely on everyday people to come forward and give us the information that we need, because the streets talk and the streets know far more faster most times than with our police department. It is the way that my nephew's murder was solved, and most importantly, for people to shoot indiscriminately, as we've seen with Isaiah's case and the tragedies over the past week, it's just a matter of time. And by the grace of God, Isaiah is still here, but it could be worst case scenarios. It was with a beautiful young woman last week, and as it was with my nephew 5 years ago. And Chief, I'll let you speak more on that, but I do want to also, again, stress what Ms. Wood shared, that Isaiah is scheduled for release, but he will not and cannot be released until they have a handicap accessible apartment. And so if there's anyone who has a home or an apartment that they would like to make available to this family, it's needed immediately. Also, Ms. Woods has missed a great deal of work. She's not been able to work. I'd like for the public to keep that in mind. She will also need transportation, a handicap accessible van as well. So if there's anyone in the public who is feeling particularly generous, those resources would be greatly appreciated.
How do people donate to that?
If you contact our Office of Constituent Services, we can help facilitate those donations, and also through the Atlanta Police Department as well. We'll make sure that those donations are appropriately received and distributed. Do you want to add something, Chief, on the recent shootings?
So, to echo the mayor's sentiments, I mean, we're sickened by it, especially Isaiah and the child that was sleeping innocently in her bed and is shot and killed. There's a proliferation of weapons, of guns. There's a lack of accountability by the courts. There's almost no conflict resolution skills amongst the younger generations that we're seeing. We've gotten so automated, and it's a confluence of events that can have and has had tragic outcomes, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And so we go out every day, and that is why our focus is to get guns off the street. And it is why at every bend I am hammering the magistrate courts to keep these folks who are predisposed and committed to violence in jail. It is why we have to see the juvenile courts review their measures and put something in place that has some level of effectiveness. Because we see kids crying out for help, for basic fundamentals, food, water, the capacity to become something and have hope, This is not impossible, and this community is strong, but folks have to snap out of the business as usual mindset. But in the meantime, we're going to make arrests, and we're going to make sure that these folks are held accountable. It's going to happen.
Also, many of you all may have covered last week the ribbon cutting for the At Promise Youth Center in Mechanicsville, and that's really what we're trying to do at the root of it all. Our police department does a great job in responding to crime, but we have to continue to explore ways to stop it before it happens. And the At Promise Youth Center over in the Vine City English Avenue area has been committed to that. We just broke ground on one in Mechanicsville, and there will be one coming soon over in the Allison Court area on Campbellton Road at the Young Family YMCA. So we will continue to do what we can do to provide other opportunities for our young people, but meanwhile, there are still people who are committed to doing evil, and it's important that we get them off of our streets as quickly as possible. So thank you all for being here today.